I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. This update brought to you by Wingstop. The Bishop Kenny girls basketball team is going to the 4A state championship game.
Pass inside, stolen away by Coyle, and that will do it. Bishop Kenny is heading back to the state championship.
Mike Rideout with the call right here on 1010XL. Bishop Kenny over Slam Academy from Miami. Final score 46-43. The Crusaders will play Lake Highland Prep out of Orlando for the 4A state title Saturday at 12:30. It's 57 degrees at 6 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Typically, when you use the word steering in sports, it can only be about a bullpen, right? A little bit of movement there, kicking around some dust. And the play-by-play guy will tell you that there's some stirring going on in the opposing bullpen. Not the case any longer. Today at the NFL Combine, that is a word that we absolutely should use. Among so many more, what a great day for the front seven. What a great day, particularly for defensive linemen around the NFL or headed towards the NFL. And I think this is a real good thing for Jacksonville because whether you're ready or not, there's only 56 days until the NFL draft. That is almost a shock to me. 56 days. I mean, it's going to be here before you know it. They're going to work out tonight, the rest of the week, next week. There'll be even more talk about the reaction to everything that happened in Indianapolis. And then, of course, we're 2 weeks away from the Players' Championship. We're 2 weeks away from the start of the season in the NFL, the legal tampering period, then just the shots that are going to be fired all across the league. Now, you don't sit around and wait for the market to get set. You overpay, and you go and you find your guys if you have a huge need, right? Isn't that the way free agency is? Fill an obvious need with a free agent, and then you draft the best players available, and that's what Trent Baalke and his staff is trying to do right now. It is a huge draft for the Jaguars, and I know you can say each and every year it is a huge draft for the Jaguars, but what's comforting, at least somewhat, is where Jacksonville is at 17. You have to try to get the best positional player that you can. Now, for me, that window is closed. It is exclusively an offensive lineman, and that is regardless of what we have seen today with defensive linemen. That includes former Florida State Seminole Jared Verse. What an incredible day. Verse said yesterday that he has already met with the Jaguars. Jacksonville has the opportunity to interview 60 players, right? All 32 teams in the NFL can interview 32 players. It's either for 60 players. It's either for 15 and or 18 minutes. And, that can be taxing, right? I don't think there's any question about that. Just think of yourself, maybe when you were in college or whatever, and you went around campus and you interviewed with different companies. I understand that once you actually get out on your own, you got to find an interview, you get dressed up, you prep for it, you go. But it's different when it's one after another. Just imagine being one of these young prospects and literally going from team to team to team to team to team. And I'm sure your first 4, 5, 6 interviews, you're fresh, you're ready to go. Then all of a sudden it's interview 7, 8, 9, 10. You're being asked the same questions. In a lot of cases, you're being asked different questions. It's time-consuming. It's a nuisance, yet you want to be presentable. you want to be sharp as attack because it could mean you're going here or not going here. Nonetheless, the Jaguars, their due diligence, they're being a part of that right now. The way that I look at it, the more exceptional work that is being done as far as training ahead of Jacksonville is the best thing that you can ask for, as long as it's not offensive lineman after offensive lineman. Where I'm set right now, it's Jackson Powers Johnson. I think he is the guy that Jacksonville should select at number 17, the center out of Oregon. I will tell you right now, I don't feel comfortable about that selection. The tea leaves that I have licked, smelt, looked at, observed, even heard, if you will. Has anyone ever in the history of our lives said that they heard something from a tea leaf? I'm saying it right now. It's scary to me. It feels like they're going to go defense. It feels like they're going to go corner. It feels like they could possibly do something along that defensive line. And I want to yell. I want to scream. I want to pound tables. I want to break tables. I want to go Bills Mafia and throw R.J. Saunders through a table. I really do. I'm just like, just don't do it. Just leave it alone. If you want to play a game, if you want it to be sent where perhaps another team behind you gets scared, they're going to move up or whatever, fine. That's part of the chess match here. That's part of the gamemanship. But look at your roster. Look at your team. Look at what you have. Look at all the decisions you're going to have to make, and then put together the best offensive line available. I don't know if I believe that right now with this brass. If you go back and listen to what Doug Peterson said earlier this week, when he said there was only one game where they had Cam and Ezra and Luke and Brandon and Anton. Only one game, right? I would cut Cam Robinson. I would cut Brandon Sheriff. I wouldn't bring back Ezra Cleveland. I would replace Luke Fortner. I'm sitting here right now telling you I'd replace 4 of the 5 offensive linemen. And I don't even know if Anton Harrison's going to be your right tackle. He may be your left tackle. That's his position by trade, right? 22 of 23 starts at Oklahoma, left side. Played very well last year on the right side. Where's Luke Little in all of this? John Osher joined me yesterday. Brings up Cooper Hodges, a local kid. Played at Appalachian State, from here, or at least played here, high school-wise. Can you plug him in at right guard? Man, he's a 7th-round pick who spent the entire year on IR. Isn't that kind of a tall order to just project that a second-year right guard who was a 7th-round selection, you can just send him in and make him the right guard? So, yeah, it's petrifying. But that's the way that it is for all 32 teams right now. You're trying to figure out what is best. And for starters for Jacksonville, we don't know what the Bears are going to do, right? That whole thing is screwed up. And they're going to have to decide whether or not Justin Fields is the leader of that organization, whether or not he's going to take them, in the future to where the Bears want to be. You've seen all the projections with Caleb Williams. You've seen some projections with Drake May. You could have the top 3 players in this year's draft all quarterbacks. We saw that 3 years ago, right? Trevor Lawrence. We saw it with Zach Wilson, and we saw it with Trey Lance. We also saw it back in the 1999 season with Tim Couch, Donovan McNabb, and Akili Smith. Check history. Couch, bust. Akili Smith, bust. Donovan McNabb, very good. Very good. Took him to a Super Bowl. Played right here. The draft 3 years ago, Zach Wilson, bust. Trey Lance, bust. Trevor Lawrence, jury's out. I just told Frank Hayes and me a moment ago that, in my opinion, the reason why you're getting a lot of positive feedback right now in Indianapolis nationally when it comes from the Jaguars is because you've got one of only a couple of Super Bowl winning coaches. I mean, how many of those right now? You've got McVay, you've got Reed, you've got Peyton, you've got Harbaugh, that being John. Did I miss anyone? I mean, Belichick's out. Carroll's out. Tomlin's 1-1. So what do you got, 5? I may have missed the guy. If so, let me know. 641-1010 on the text line. Brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. That's important. Doug Peterson is a Super Bowl winning quarterback. And I think you got a top 10 QB. I do. Someone's challenged me on it. You kidding me? Trevor Lawrence, top 10 quarterback? Yes, I think. But protect him. Protect him. Give him a running game. Jaguars were 31st in the NFL, 3.6 yards a carry. Travis Etienne went from 5.1 yards to 3.8. 1/4 of his carries, 25%. He was smacked at the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage. And Travis Etienne led the NFL in broken tackles. It's not his fault. It's the offensive line's fault. The top 3 picks are all quarterbacks. That leaves only 14 positional players who could, in fact, go in front of Jacksonville when, in fact, they do select. And obviously Marvin Harrison Jr., I mean, you might as well just forget about it, right? He's going to be probably the first non-quarterback to go in this draft. And there's going to be a couple of wide receivers who are going to go very high. The young man out of Washington is someone who is going to go. How about Dallas Turner today? 83 inches as far as the wingspan. I've always been a wingspan kind of admirer, right? I think the first time I really got kind of caught up in that when I was at a Boston Celtics game back in the very early 1980s at the old Boston Garden. I think it was like a mid-May game. There was no air conditioning. Okay? Do you understand? Do you understand that, RJ? I grew up in Boston with no AC.
Right.
My parents bought a house in, I think, 1965. And air conditioning then was like something you didn't even think of. The cars we had, no air conditioning in our vehicles, no air conditioning in our house. The old Boston Garden, during that great rivalry between Boston and L.A. in the 80s, no air conditioning inside the Boston Garden.
Just a good old parquet floor.
Yeah. And the cold showers for the Lakers and all that stuff. But when I was there and I saw it, the wingspan, it was Kevin McHale. I'm telling you, I had great seats because of my uncle. And right in front of me, I watched Kevin McHale not even bend over. He just dropped his arms and tied his shoes. And I was like, damn, now that's some wingspan. Because Kevin McHale couldn't jump, right? And all he did, he had that soft little leaner, and he had that little turnaround Jay, him and the Chief, Robert Parrish. But, man, that happened today. So, Dallas Turner is a guy that today made himself a tremendous amount of money, right? An 83-inch wingspan, and that is a stickler when it comes to Trent Baalke. I can only imagine what was going on inside Baalke's brain today when he heard an 83-inch wingspan. So he's going to move up. Dallas Turner is going to certainly skyrocket. I played golf today out at the Valley early this morning, TPC Valley. It was cold, but it was still a lot of fun. Actually saw Brian Harmon out there with the Claret Jug. I put it on Twitter. It's the first time I've ever seen the Claret Jug. What's the coolest trophy in sports? For me, it's Lord Stanley Cup. It's not even close.
I mean, for me, it's the Larry O'Brien
Larry O'Brien trophy? Okay. The World Series trophy's kind of cool. Does anyone really the Lombardi trophy?
Why does it look so to me?
They don't do it right with the Super Bowls. First off, they wasted our time with Roman numerals. I mean, guys like me are like, what the hell Super Bowl is it? And you see Roman numerals, and you're like, man, I learned about Roman numerals, and I was like 9 or 10. I haven't used them since. Why do you put Roman numerals? I mean, you change everything else in the NFL. You can't even have a simple PAT anymore, right? You got to move it back. You can't have a kickoff anymore. There's touchbacks. You wave your hand. Everything in the league changes. You can't hit a quarterback. You can't hit a guy high. You can't hit a guy low. But they're going to keep those stupid, foolish Roman numerals there. It's like, it's Super Bowl what? And there's like X's and V's, and I'm like, I don't know what it is. But, the Lombardi trophy, nah. national title in college football or college basketball? Nah. I think, without even hesitation, the Stanley Cup is just incredible. What a trophy that is. What a and to hear some of the stories over the years, now well over 100 years, that have actually happened with that is pretty cool. But I did get a good look today at the Claret Jug. And he was taking some photos right outside of the stadium and right outside of the clubhouse. Today was Brian Harmon. Tough to believe. We're less than 2 weeks away from the Players' Championship. It's 6:16 right now. You'll have just about all of the golfers already in. And I got to imagine if they're not done, the horn will blow, and that first-round coverage will be over in exactly 2 weeks. But anyway, I was playing golf with one of my buddies today, actually 3 of my friends today, and he's like, I don't care if the Jaguars signed Evan Ingram. I don't care if the Jaguars used the second-round pick last year on Brenton Strange. If Brock Bowers is there, you got to take him. And I'm like, bro, no, you can't take him. That's one position group that you actually feel pretty good about, right? Evan Ingram had a career year. Brenton Strange was a disappointment, all right? But I still think he is going to be a good player. It may be a situation where you have to rely on him as much as a blocking tight end, as a receiving tight end, because Trevor Lawrence is very comfortable, obviously, with Evan Ingram. And then you have Luke Farrell, year 4 of his deal, who is your blocking tight end. They're set there. Brock Bowers could end up being absolutely phenomenal, but no. There's way too many other positions that need to be addressed. Jared Verse today made himself a ton of money, a 4.59 today for Jared Verse. A 35-inch vertical, a 10.7 broad jump. He is interviewed with the Jaguars. And, interviews here in Indianapolis, or I should say interviews at the Combine in Indianapolis, and then bringing guys in, it's not as though I've kept numbers or statistics on it, but I've always believed that there's some tomfoolery involved. When word gets out that you fly a guy in, you give him a dinner, you take him through the Miller Electric Center, you show him everything, the antenna goes up, right? Oh, there's interest there. I've also seen it many times locally when I was in Chicago, hearing as to what used to go on at Hallis Hall, and certainly around here before I left, and when in the 18 years now that I've been back, there's been many times that teams are absolutely interested in a guy, but they won't bring him in because they don't want to send that type of message. So I don't know if you should read too much into that, but the Jaguars did interview Jared Verse. And there's a guy today who's moving up. He's got other drills to do. We'll see. Apparently he interviewed very well, but a good day for him. Tell you what, another Seminole, Braden Fisk, is probably, I've read it now in a couple of different places, out of everyone who worked out today, the biggest moneymaker of all was Braden Fisk. And I'm going to say this because I mean it. I thought Braden Fisk had a much better year at Florida State than Jared Verse. I think Verse at times disappeared. Now, Verse is much more than just a pass rush specialist, okay? He is a guy that can play all 3 downs for you. You look at another one, who am I trying to think of here? The guy from Mississippi State, Lovett, okay? Lovett he's not going to go as high from Florida State, but, he's a 1 or 2 down guy. That's all you're going to get out of him. In a run situation, is probably a defensive tackle, Fabian Lovett. That's what you're going to get. Braden Fisk did everything for Florida State. And I think this is a guy that can play all on the defensive line. As a matter of fact, he spoke yesterday. Let's get to Braden Fisk. And he was asked about where he believes he'll play at the NFL level.
I definitely think I project as a 3 technique, and I mean in most of my meetings that's kind of what teams see me as. I mean there's certain packages where I can bump out wide and play 5 or 6 and short yardage goal line situations. I don't necessarily project as a 1 technique, but passing situations, second and longs, third and longs. I mean you can easily rush from the A gap. I mean you're not needed to be a run stopper in that situation, but yeah, I think across the board, I think I bring a lot of versatility that I'll be able to fit in kind of anywhere, in any situation.
Talking about small, you're talking about guys out of small schools. Right? Albany, Western Michigan. Then all of a sudden they go to the big platform there and they perform very well at Florida State. Grade-wise, Jared Verse could be a top 10 pick. He could be a top 12 pick. He's got the measurables. He's got the athleticism. He's got the film. He's the complete player. Braden Fisk, to me, however, was a much better player. It reminds me of that great Seminole defense of a decade ago. All that talk about, all those defensive players and just about every one of them was selected and ended up playing in the NFL draft. But remember the 5 stars of Mario Edwards Jr. and Goldman and Christian Jones, and it just went on and on and on. Telvin Smith was a 5th-round pick, but if you really paid attention, he's a guy who made play after play after play as an undersized linebacker while at Florida State, even though Jalen was there and, just great player after great player. P.J. Williams was there. It just went on. That's the way I feel about Braden Fisk. Braden Fisk made so many really good plays doing a variety of different things this past year at Florida State. So a really good day for him, and he has interviewed with the Jaguars. Braden Fisk, a 33.5-inch vertical and a broad jump at 9'9". Some of his material is viral. Him on the bag today, him going around the bag, just doing all sorts of different drills. And it was pretty incredible as far as his effort. So overall, a good day there for those 2 Noles. But my point is not about either one of them. It's about having stars arrive and having stars doing better than they are projected to do, so you can have more guys go ahead of Jacksonville at 17 that are not offensive linemen. Okay? That's the point of the entire conversation. Joe Alt, the tackle out of Notre Dame, he's going to be long gone, right? I don't think there's any doubt about that. JC, the kid out of Bama, JC Latham, he's going to be probably another top 10, top 7, top 6. I've even seen him at 5 in a couple of these mock drafts, and obviously there are so many of them that are out. But that could be really the only 2 that are ahead of the Jaguars. And you look at like another situation with J.J. McCarthy. Could he end up going? If so, that becomes 4 quarterbacks to join the other 3 we talked about in Daniels and in May and Caleb Williams. That's what you want. I mean, if you're a Jag fan, you'd like to have 5 or 6 quarterbacks go ahead of where you select so you can get the best possible, position players that are not quarterback ahead of you. I have seen the kid out of Penn State, and I think it's Olu Fashana, who is projected in some circles to perhaps go ahead of where Jacksonville is selecting at 16, and also the guard in Fontanu out of Washington. But that has not been consistent. That has been spread out all over, depending on which mock draft you actually look at. I'm going to talk about that on the other side because yesterday, unfortunately, Mel Kiper did have the Jaguars going for a cornerback in Quinion Mitchell, a young guy out of Toledo that I don't know anything about at all. I can't remember watching Toledo football. I've certainly read a ton about him so far during the draft process, but that could, in fact, be the case as far as that. All right, a lot of input from you coming in today. I know a lot of you during the work day or whatever it may be, you have such an opportunity these days to cheat, right? On the computer, on the TV, pull things up. Yeah, boss, I'm really working hard on this deal, and you're watching guys do the 3-cone drill, or you're watching guys run around the bags, or you're just watching the broad jump, or you're watching the vertical. And I get it because you're a football nut, and I love it. You can get away from that by faking out your boss, like you're really deep into it, and the internet's working for you, and you're bringing in this, and you're doing that, but you're cheating. You're just watching the combine. Love to hear it. And I know that a lot of our listeners are that way because I can already see the response that's coming in at 641-1010 on the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. But I love to hear from you on this tonight. Again, offensive line, offensive line, offensive line, offensive line. Build it. Build the Great Wall of Duval. Oh, I want it so bad. You could skill position me here. You can wide receiver, DB, DE. You can do all that. I just want an offensive line. I do. Just how great would that image be to have the Jacksonville Jaguars have the meanest and the best offensive line in the – just how – I mean, look at how Philly lines up in that stupid little whatever play they call it, the push or whatever it is. I would rather have that, excuse me, than a pass rush guy that's getting 17.5 sacks a year. Dual wide receivers that are getting plus 1,000 yards a year. Travis Etienne consistently 1,000 yards rushing, even though it was a bad offensive line. I guess with a good offensive line, you'd have that anyway. But that's what I think this city needs, is 5 guys totally in unison who just create complete havoc in the ditch. It's what I want more than anything. And, hey, is it what you want? We will see. All right, play golf today out at the Valley. Very, very windy today, and there were a couple of holes that were cart path only. Okay, so, that becomes good for guys like me because you have to walk a little bit more. But I'm also with guys whose eyes are not working for them anymore. And you take that trip out and you bring the whatever they call it, the gun to measure your distance from where your ball is to the actual flag. And, it's like 170, 160. I'm like, are you kidding me, man? That's like 115, 120 because my eyes are perfect, 20/20, since I've been with Shmunez Vision. But it's an ongoing drill, and it's one that just, I'll admit I've become more of a fan of this since I've been with Shmunez. It amazes me how off my buddies are or friends are. And several have gone to Shmunez Vision, including my buddy Dr. Michael Shinatri, who had LASIK surgery with Shmunez Vision. Loves it. He's a younger guy, man, 20/20. Doesn't have to worry about anything for the rest of his life. He's chasing young kids around, doing all that great stuff. He's got perfect eyes. But others just seem to let it go. Everything else is more important. It's not your eyes. And I hate that for you because you could be missing out. And right now, here late at night, your eyes are a lot weaker because of fatigue than it was when you woke up this morning. Just go and check them out online. It's outstanding. Everything is explained to you there with the good folks at Shmunez Vision. Go to Shmunez Vision and check it out. And care you can see the good folks over at Shmunez Vision. All right, we're jam-packed tonight. Absolutely loaded up until 8 o'clock. The NFL Combine officially underway where they're finally working out. That is the way it's been on this Thursday. We will keep you updated on all the movement there. And again, the best way for you to join us, 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
Chase Elliott through the dog leg.
Hey, I'm Chase Elliott, driver of the number 9 Napa Chevrolet.
Elliott's going to win at Talladega.
And you're listening to 1010XL Jack Sports Radio.
Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville is excited about the new 2024 all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
We have over 11 in stock with more on the way.
Come in today to test drive the all-electric Lyriq. It's an experience like no other.
And if you drive home with one today, we'll take $7,500 off your new Cadillac Lyriq at signing.
That means no need to wait for the end of the year tax credit. You get the $7,500 today.
Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville. Plus tax tag title, $8.99 admin fee and resistol.
Tell them Jennifer sent ya.
How's Wingstop sound? Crispy, juicy, classic wings. Made to order, cooked to perfection. And sauced and tossed in those 11 soul-satisfying flavors. Paired with hand-cut seasoned fries, house-made honey mustard, blue cheese, or signature Wingstop ranch. And, of course, spicy Cajun fried corn. I I think you've heard enough. Get your flavor delivered at Wingstop.com.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
From happy hour to late night fun, Anheuser-Busch wants to remind you it's better to take it easy and be in for the win. That means you had a good time and you got home safely. So know when to say when and be there for the next big time by designating a driver.
Hey, this is Bert Cannon with the First Coast YMCA. Youth sports at the Y can help nurture your future athlete's potential and experience the joy of being a kid. At the Y, we're providing a safe, clean, and fun environment with basketball, soccer, volleyball, gymnastics, elite skills training, and more. Best of all, participation in Legacy Youth Sports League is free with your family membership. Visit fcymca.org to learn all about youth sports at the Y.
Start your Sunday off with a cup of Joe and some sports medicine intel. This is Joe C. inviting you to join me and Dr. George Bari for Breaking Bones every Sunday morning at 7:30. And if you miss an episode, just look for Breaking Bones wherever you listen to podcasts.
Were you forced into a nosebleed mortgage rate in this past year? Loan Pronto is here to rescue you. Hey, it's Prosser. Listen, if your mortgage rate is over 7, you're going to be in heaven with Loan Pronto's zero-cost refi. You can cut your house payment by hundreds of dollars and even do it with zero closing costs and no appraisal. Rates have plummeted to the lowest point in nearly 12 months, and it's time to say goodbye to that bad loan you got stuck with. Loan Pronto's got APRs with fixed rates in the 5s. So don't live with that record high a day longer. You can lock in a lower rate now with virtually no paperwork or cost involved. Call now and see how much lower you can get your house payment. Refi now, and you can even skip your next 2 house payments altogether. Call for a free 30-second quote, 904-999-1508. At loanpronto.com, you can find out more. 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
When it rains, it better drain. If storm drains on your commercial property aren't doing their job, this is a major liability that needs to be corrected. Call Duck Duck Rooter to have your storm drains jetted and cleaned with our powerful vac con truck. We'll clear the way for better drainage. Call 904-862-6769. Visit DuckDuckRooter.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jags. Duck Duck Rooter, your fully insured certified plumbing and underground utility contractor.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Hicken here. When it comes to your eye health, you want to make the winning move. That's where Bow 9 Associates comes in. February, it's the month of love. And what better way to show some love than taking care of your family's vision? Bow 9 isn't just about seeing clearly. They're about making sure your eye game is in its prime. And folks, they got not 1, not 2, but 3 convenient locations across town. I call that home court advantage. So call Bow 9 Associates and schedule your winning eye exam. Bow 9 Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
Wow, John, my Clearwater sprinkler system looks great.
All right, Frank, let's go ahead and program your Rainbird timer. How many minutes do you want the zones to run?
John, I think we run from the front 20, the sides 15, the back 10, the garden 5. Clearwater scores!
Well, that's a first, Frank, but you're the boss.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage too.
ClearwaterJacks.com. 1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, tomorrow, special show with you from 3 until 6. That'll be the deal coming up tomorrow. Already looking forward to that, but we got a ton to do here tonight. Someone asked me if I mentioned Mike McCarthy as far as a Super Bowl winning coach, and I did not. A lot of people out there believe it's pretty incredible that Mike McCarthy was only able to win one Super Bowl while he had Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. But, with Belichick and Carroll out, you got Andy Reid, you got John Harbaugh, you got Jacksonville's Doug Peterson, Mike McCarthy, Sean Payton, Mike Tomlin, and Sean McVay. That's actually not that bad of a list. That's 7. So that's pretty high. If just off the top of my head, I think there's only 3 coaches right now in college football who have won a national title. Are you kidding me? 3? I mean, you've got Kirby and Dabo, and then a lot of people will forget Mac Brown, who won it, 24, whatever it was, 20-some-odd years ago at Texas, with Vince Young when they knocked off USC at the Rose Bowl. But you just lost Harbaugh to the NFL. Saban retired. Jimbo Fisher was fired. You only have 3 head coaches right now in college football who have won the national championship. It's frightening. A little bit more in college and a little bit more in the NFL. And let's be fair here, okay? Mike McCarthy, when they start coming out with hot seat lists, Mike McCarthy is going to be number 1 on that list this year in Dallas. Doug Peterson's going to be on that list. Despite 9-8 seasons, he's going to be on it. All right, so there's another. Can you put Mike Tomlin on it? Some will, but when you just look at the Rooney family, they're just so loyal. We know they've only had 3 coaches in the Super Bowl era. If you go back to Chuck Noll and Bill Cowher, and now Mike Tomlin. Tomlin's one of those guys who kind of flirts with, could this be it? Andy Reid as well. Could this be it? I just don't know how much longer those two actually do have in the tank. I think John Harbaugh is certainly safe. I think Sean McVay, as long as he does it, is safe. Sean Payton probably got to pick things up a little bit. And that's another major story that is brewing right now in Indianapolis is Russell Wilson. Right now, you can almost get even odds on Russell Wilson as being the opening day starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I don't know what's going on with that. I'm going to ask our friend Rafael Esparza when he joins us a little bit later on tonight here on the program live from Vegas. I wanted to do some combine hits as to, people are now betting on the combine overall, particularly the 40, the bench press, some other drills. And then other stuff from the combine we will not know officially until the NFL draft does take place. All right, a lot of good stuff coming in on the text line, the 8696. Ballou, do you believe the smoke that both Robinson and Sheriff will be back? Feels like Sheriff needs to go. Do I believe the smoke? Somewhat, especially with Cam Robinson. I mean, that's turned 180. We witnessed that. Trent Baalke at his season-ending press conference 18 days after the season ended got himself in a little bit of hot water with the Josh Allen camp. For what it's worth, I don't think Trent Baalke really did anything wrong, right? The Allen camp got upset. The Allen camp wants a long-term deal, right? He has until March 5th. Tomorrow's the 1st. I think it's pretty safe to say that you're going to slap a franchise tag on Josh Allen by March 5th and then try to get a long-term deal done with him before July 15th. Very similar to what just happened in 2023 with Evan Ingram. So that's a pretty decent track record if you do look at it that way. And, of course, Cam was tagged twice, and he's still under contract. But Baalke, as a matter of fact, let's go to that, RJ. If anyone missed that, let me see. Yeah, let's go to number 6. Here's Trent Baalke Tuesday when he was asked about Cam Robinson and I'll give RJ a second here to find it. It's number 6 there, RJ, from Trent Baalke at the podium this past Tuesday. I thought it was really interesting with Trent Baalke because when he was asked about this during his season-ending press conference, he was asked about Josh Allen. and gave us his answer about how he's going to be here either with a tag or a long-term deal. And then he was immediately asked about Cam Robinson and went on and stated that he didn't want to talk about any other players. Well, he was asked about Cam Robinson again 2 days ago.
I don't know where the ambiguity was. He's under contract, and the expectation is that he will be back. You know, we've had a lot of discussions over the last 2 weeks. We obviously got a lot of moves we got to do. There's a lot of players that have hit free agency. There's another bunch of young guys that we're working on potential extensions for. So we've got a lot of balls in the air right now, and we're just going to try to play them one by one.
So that turned completely. And again, is it genuine? And I'm not saying that to call out Trent Baalke. I think there's gamemanship involved in everything that you're doing. Okay? Of course, you want to be truthful, but there's ways to get messages out there, and there's ways to plant stuff that is out there. For me, it's a no-brainer. I would cut Cam Robinson, and I would cut Brandon Sheriff. And the reason why I would do that, number one, for Cam Robinson, is I don't think you can rely on him anymore. He gets injured every year. He got popped for 4 games, and then he missed 4 games. So he's missing half the year. And he's good. He's not great. He's good. And you can't pay this guy more than $21 million a year to be your starting left tackle. If you cut him, you have to eat $3.8 million. And that's very affordable under the recent salary cap figures, which are just absolutely insane. $255.4 million. You can eat the 3.8. All right, that becomes a part of it, but that's very doable. You also recoup $17,279,000. Man, you can use that money elsewhere. Go out and get the best free agent offensive lineman. Or go out and get another position player. If you draft an offensive lineman perhaps in the first, second, or third round. So I'm cutting him. The Sheriff deal's a little bit more complicated, okay? There's no doubt I'm saying goodbye. It's just the timing. He's a right guard that carries a $24 million tag. I mean, I'd cut him today if you could. Here's the problem, and again, this is what becomes very scary with Brandon Sheriff, is right now his dead cap money is actually more than what you would save. His dead cap money is $14,886,000, where you would recoup $9 million. Now, if you wait until after June 1st, cut him post June 1st, you would only have to eat $7,467,000, and you could bring back $16,500. You had the $16,500 and the $17,200 with Cam Robinson. I mean, you're talking about $34 million that you can add to your salary cap to go on out and get other players. Again, I haven't been able to get an answer to this because I don't know if anyone knows, but I believe that within the league you can announce that you want to cut a guy before June 1st, but the money situation will actually change as though it was an after post June 1st transaction, if that makes any sense. I don't quote me on this. Don't put it in concrete. Trying to get an answer on it. But, the only thing that would change there is you'd have more money to go after these free agents when the legal tampering period begins in 2 weeks. If not, this would be a late wave. And that's the way it was. Remember early on, remember for you old school NFL fans, how those June 1st cuts used to be so prevalent and almost became like a second wave in free agency? That's no longer really what does happen, or at least not nearly as much as what used to happen. But, yeah, to answer your question, I can't trust Cam Robinson because he gets injured. And Brandon Sheriff has got a heart of a lion, but he's not what he once was. And for $24 million, no way. I'm going in a different direction. I'm saying goodbye to both. You want to comment on that, you can at 641-1010. That is on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. All right, tonight's show brought to you by Patriot Roofing. All right, Patriot Roofing Services right here in Jacksonville, specializing in all types of commercial, residential roofing and repairs, gutters, sun tubes, skylights, 10-year workmanship warranty. Let's give my buddy Mark Tizzolo a call, 982-4052, licensed and insured, no subcontractors either. So you're dealing just with Mark. Financing is available, discounts for military and senior citizens. Check them out online, Patriot Roofing. Again, if you need a new roof or a repair to your current roof, repairs to your current roof, whether it's your home or your business, check them out online. Go to Patriot Roofing. All right, we got much more to do here on the Combine live from Indianapolis. We'll keep you updated on everything that has happened. For the most part, things have slowed down here a little bit today, but there's so much to dive into. And we are going to do that. Also, next hour, live from Las Vegas, we'll take a look at some of these Combine results that you could have bet on. It's only day one as far as the testing, so still wide open. And the way that we actually have live in betting now with games, I'm sure that continues with the NFL Combine. I'll ask Rafael Esparza about that. He'll join us coming up next hour as well. So we got much more to do along with RJ Saunders. My name is Rick Ballou. We call this Into the Night.
It's the biggest event to hit the First Coast since the Florida-Georgia game.
The Players Championship.
Get live Southeast Orthopedic Specialist leaderboard updates brought to you by Coastal Equipment, First Coast Honda Dealers, and Kingfish Pest Control.
On 1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet love our community. That's right, we spread the love by giving back, and every year we give hundreds of thousands of dollars to our local community. Plus, we give all our customers lots of love, too. Every new vehicle purchase comes with a 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty, and every certified pre-owned vehicle comes with a 7-year, 100,000-mile loving warranty. Plus, we give the most loving for your trade. Help us to continue to spread the love and head to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville. We're here to wow you and give back.
Looking for the perfect Saturday plans? Head over to Players Grill, where Saturdays are all about pizza and pints. Dive into a delicious pizza paired with your choice of Miller Lite or Yuengling draft beer for just $12.99. Pizza, pints, and a great time. Players Grill, where the neighborhood meets.
This is Daytona, the heart of racing, the soul of speed, and the only place in Florida to witness the adrenaline-pumping, awe-inspiring spectacle of Supercross. Daytona Supercross, where champions are made, legends are born, and the biggest names battle it out under the lights at the world's center of racing. Don't miss it. The gate drops Saturday, March 2nd. Secure your tickets and trackside access today at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
Men suffering from ED or PE, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Prime Men's Medical Center. For a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free. You'll even get a gift that enhances performance in the bedroom. Call 904-664-8217.
Get ready for the Players Championship, March 12th through 17th at TPC Sawgrass. Don't miss your chance to watch the PGA Tour's best compete to etch their name in history while enjoying a vibrant social scene. From local bites to the latest merchandise available in the PGA Tour fan shop, The Players offers the ultimate experience for everyone to enjoy. Secure your spot today. Tickets are on sale now at theplayers.com.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. I know Honda, they're so cool on the road and off the road, but guess what? Tell them about them being on the water.
There is an all-new Honda boat coming out. We went out and partnered with Scout, who's been making the finest holes in the business for years. They're fuel-efficient, dynamic, and class-leading.
So Honda is in the boat business, and you will see boats coming to Cycles of Jacksonville soon.
We will have them in the spring, ready to go.
CyclesofJacksonville.com. Keep track of all of it. Find them on Atlantic near Regency.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On February 29, 1965, the Cleveland Indians franchise is sold for nearly $4 million. Former player and GM Hank Greenberg is part of the new ownership.
Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars. Make them your AC partner with honest cost estimates before they start the work with no hidden fees. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
Rock and Roll Hall of Famers, the Doobie Brothers. Tom Johnston, Michael McDonald, Pat Simmons, and John McPhee. The 2024 Tour. With special guest, the Robert Cray Band, live in Jacksonville. Performing at Daly's Place, July 8th. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. For more, visit theDoobieBrothers.com.
Is your roof showing signs of wear and tear? Well, don't wait for problems to escalate. Call Universal Roofing Contracting today to schedule your complimentary roof inspection. Right now, get 15% off roof replacement or repairs, plus flexible financing. This offer expires February 29th and restrictions apply. Universal Roofing Contracting, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com. Frank Franzi here for Stanley Pools. There's a reason so many of my friends and our listeners have had Stanley Pools build their pools and now maintain their pools, because Stanley Pools truly cares about their customers. Stanley Pools is locally owned and has been serving our community for 35 years. For all of your pool needs, call Stanley Pools at 269-7277. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools. 269-7277, or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com.
Pross, I'm thinking about changing my name.
Again? You're already the media mogul, the straw that stirs the drink, the Duke of Pablo Bay. Now what?
Refer to me as Dreamfinders Danny Hicken.
What in the blazes? Is this a cash grab?
No, it's just that I believe so much in Dreamfinders Homes. 20 locations in Northeast Florida, official home builder of Jags and Gators. Great opportunity for first-time homeowners.
All right, Dreamfinders Danny it is.
Did I mention the lowest interest rates you can find? Visit DreamfindersHomes.com. Now let Dreamfinders Danny celebrate through the majesty of song. Dreamfinders, I believe they will build your home just right.
Hey, this is David here with Royal Pest Services. Do you have that room in the house that is just too cold in the winter and just too hot in the summer? To learn about our pest-rated insulation, visit RoyalPestServices.com or call 886-2847.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Into the Night, Rick Ballou, RJ Saunders. Tomorrow, business hours on a Friday, 3 to 6. Years and years and years and years and years and years I did afternoon drive. Don't get me wrong, I love the nighttime. I'm a night guy. But tomorrow we go 3 to 6. We got to get in trouble at 6. We got to go somewhere. Where are we headed?
Anywhere, man. The world's our oyster. I'm down.
Just like the old days. Speaking of oysters, final day over at the Blue Crab Crab House of the Mardi Gras, the month of February. Where have you gone? It's over in 5 hours.
We got to go back. Remember when we went that one time? We got to go back.
Heck yeah, I go all the time. Love the Blue Crab Crab House. Right there off of San Jose on Julington Creek Road. Outstanding time. Not enough mom and pop places in this great town. Okay? I mean, I don't complain about this town. Yesterday, I sat and bragged about the weather for like the first 10 minutes of the show. Today was kind of chilly. Still a great day. I mean, what's there not to love? Beach, golf. Everything is right next to you. It only takes you about, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, no matter where you need to go in Jackson.
Yeah, you kind of reaching on that.
Oh, man. Nothing is right by. Beautiful downtown scenery. I mean, overlook the jail. But, I mean, it's just no place I'd rather be than having a nice cold Miller Lite and a shot of Tullamore Dew, just overlooking the St. John's. Hang out at the Landing. That's always a lot of good fun. Ooh. Oh, they took that away. What are they putting up? Ooh. Actually, with a buddy of mine today, Ryan, who was a firefighter, was involved putting out that damaging fire downtown, right across from where the baseball stadium is and where the ViStar Arena is. Awful fire. Another really bad deal for downtown. Downtown's just, it's more than snake bit, man. I mean, that is like black mamba, viper, spitting cobra, rattler, moccasin, not cornsnake. That's not poisonous. Corals. I mean, they just really feel bad for the people there. I just got this again on the offensive line. So people, and what's funny about this is I'm so down on the offensive line. People who disagree with me think that I'm coddling Trevor, which is fine. I can handle that. I think I've told each and every one of you that my confidence level on Trevor Lawrence has dropped in a year. I still think it's going to work. And this is the question you should ask yourself when I say it's going to work. Is Trevor Lawrence going to lead this team to a Super Bowl? Okay? We just talked about Super Bowl winning coaches. Well, it's even less for Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. Didn't Mahomes win again? How many of those do you have in the league? Flacco came back. He's out. He's a free agent. Foles is gone. Breeze is gone. Brady's gone. Both Mannings are gone. Roethlisberger's gone. Rivers never won it. Matt Ryan never won it. You got what? Russell Wilson? You got Mahomes? You've got who else? Who else is a starting quarterback who's won a ring in the NFL? They are so few and far between. It is insane. You just can't find them. That's what you need to ask. Is Trevor Lawrence, at 24 years of age, does he have the makeup to take this team to a Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl? That is what it's all about, as far as I am concerned. But someone here saying to me, oh, you're too tough on the offensive line. Yeah, they didn't do a nice job run blocking. They did a good job in pass protection. No, they didn't. Go back and look at the numbers. Trevor Lawrence had the fastest release in the NFL. He had to get rid of the ball a few tenths of a second faster than just about every other quarterback. And he also has very good escapability in the pocket. Didn't get enough credit for that. I mean, Pro Football Focus, do what you want with it. Not one of the Cam Robinson, Ezra Cleveland, Luke Fortner was grading in the 40s every game. Brandon Sheriff and Anton Harrison, not one of the five had an average of 70 or higher. I got to believe it's the only offensive line group in the NFL that didn't have at least one player with an average of 70 or better throughout the course of the season. This organization did not. It's so obvious, people. Why can't you see it with me? It is so obvious. It is a huge problem. It's a big wart right in the middle of your forehead. You've got a prom queen. You've got a supermodel. You have got a lady of the night, as hot as you can find. She is smoking, and she's got a huge wart. It's almost like a third eyeball right on her forehead. That is your Jacksonville Jaguars offensive line.
Throughout history, significant numbers have made their mark on our minds. That includes sports and radio.
And this one's going to be 10-10.
10-10 XL.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
At Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf, there's something that binds us all. The collective goal to transcend the ordinary. Introducing the new Callaway AI Smoke Driver. The new AI Design Club has multiple sweet spots across the face, making it an average of 7 yards longer than the prior model. Visit us in store for a free custom fitting at your local Edwin Watts Golf Shops or shop us online at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
Atlantic Self Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Garage getting too full with stuff? Need a place to park your boat or RV? Store it all at Atlantic Self Storage. Tons of locations in Northeast Florida. 24-hour access and month-to-month rental agreements. Moving, they can help with supplies. Heading to the players? Look for the storage locker and free bag check at the fan gift shop courtesy of Atlantic Self Storage. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com to find the location and move-in special closest to you.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Pull. Put your team together for Operation New Uniform's Veterans Cup Clay Shoot on Friday, April 5th. This year's fundraiser will feature celebrity shooters, great food, prizes, and of course, bragging rights for the winners. Enjoy a day on the range and support Operation New Uniform's mission to empower transitioning service members, veterans, and military spouses find their new uniform in the business world. Go to onuvets.org. That's onuvets.org today.
You know what happens when a smart group of medical professionals get together and commit to a technology designed to relieve your aching joints without surgery? It's called QC Kinetics.
And this guy knows the power of a solid team. Emmitt Smith, football legend and Dancing with the Stars champ.
This elite medical group, some of them orthopedic doctors, got together and said, why are we prescribing so many medications? Why are we sending so many people to surgery in droves? Let's change this.
The answer? Natural biologics, our own healing properties. And the outcome is the country's largest provider of non-surgical regenerative treatments, QC Kinetics.
Actually, the real outcome are the tens of thousands of patients who finally got their quality of life back without surgery, thanks to QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522. Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Pickett here. When it comes to your eye health, you want to make the winning move. That's where Bow 9 Associates comes in. February? It's the month of love. And what better way to show some love by than taking care of your family's vision? Bowed Eye isn't just about seeing clearly. They're about making sure your eye game is in its prime. And folks, they got not one, not two, but 3 convenient locations across town. I call that home court advantage. So call Bow 9 Associates and schedule your winning eye exam. Bow 9 Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
Wow, John, my Clearwater sprinkler system looks great.
All right, Frank, let's go ahead and program your Rainbird timer. How many minutes do you want the zones to run?
John, I think we run from the front 20, the sides 15, the back 10, the garden 5. Clearwater scores!
Well, that's a first, Frank, but you're the boss.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage to
ClearwaterJacks.com. Lauren Brooks here from Mayport CNC Fisheries. Growing up at the beach, I know good shrimp and oysters when I see them. It's local and it's fresh. That's why Mayport CNC Fisheries is my go-to for both. They have local shrimp in stock daily and fresh boxes of oysters. Eat like a local at Mayport CNC Fisheries.
Looking for a new or used firearm? Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach will get you locked and loaded. New firearms coming in weekly and always looking for used guns. No lines and no waiting. Online at beachesjewelryandpawn.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, day one testing. Defensive lineman at the NFL Combine is in the books. Really good day for quite a few of these linemen, including 2 Florida State Seminole defensive players, Braden Fisk and Jared Verse. We'll get back to that, getting a ton in on our text line on my comments about the Jaguars and the offensive line. If you want to join the conversation, 641-1010 on our text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. You can also always get me on Twitter, Ballou1010XL. All right, let's take a couple of minutes out here to get into the Southern swing. It's unbelievable to really think how fast time has gone by. 2 weeks from today, first-round scores at the Players' Championship will have already been posted. That is crazy. Today, playing out in Palm Beach Gardens. Let's bring in my buddy Rick Shoemaker. Of course, he is the owner as well of Cimarron, and he goes into the night with Rick Ballou. Rick, good to have you back. How you been?
No, I'm doing great. We're rocking and rolling over here at Cimarron, and again, we're looking forward to this swing. It's great when these guys get into the state of Florida, and we see what it does for tourism, to say the least. So we're excited about the next month.
No doubt about it. We talk so much football-related about playing East Coast, West Coast, indoors, outdoors, the cold, all of that. What about for these PGA Tour players, though? Playing out west the way they just have through Phoenix and all throughout California, now the southern swing. How much do things change for them as far as the understanding, the difference in the grass and things along those lines?
Well, the grass is certainly different, the Bermuda, right, how it sits. But, they had played in the Kukua out there at Riviera, which is thick and gnarly. So when they're swinging at 120 miles an hour, it's got to be pretty gnarly to affect them. So it's not a big change. The greens, the Bermuda grass is so low cut nowadays. The grain is minimal in some cases. So it's not really that. Look, it's more about them preparing for what's unfolding come March, April, May with all the majors. And I think you see these top guys really being very savvy about their schedule, 18 and 20 events, and just using this almost as a warm-up to some extent.
Yeah, I can't remember the year it was. I was in Pebble Beach in the year 2000 when Tiger shut everyone down and won by like 12 strokes. But it was years later when there was another major at the United States Open at Pebble. It might have been 8 to 10, 12 years later. I don't remember the year. But Tiger elected not to play in February, and someone asked him, well, why won't you play here in February if you're going to play here again this summer? And Tiger looked at the reporter and said, the course is going to be so incredibly different then that I won't get anything out of it now. So, I was out. I went by the players today. I saw Brian Harmon out there, of course, had won a Claret Jug. If you've been out there practicing and doing things, let's say back in November, or December, or January, how much does that change compared to what you would expect in 2 weeks?
I think the rough will continue to grow. I think this forecast is a wild card, right? Obviously, as a golf course owner, I'm looking at it, but with rain forecast for 5 or 6 days at 50 or 60%, it just takes that to happen for this overseed to burst through and really create some challenges in that rough. So I think this next 6 to 10 days of weather is a big deal as to how impactful that rough height and thickness will be.
Rick, I've battled some true golf fans out there about my comments. 2 months into the PGA Tour season, only one top 10 player has won an event on the PGA Tour, according to the world, the official World Golf Rankings. And we've had 3 first-time winners, including last weekend. We had an amateur win going back a few weekends ago for the first time in 33 years. Is this good or bad for the PGA Tour?
Again, I think we talked about it last week. I think with what's unfolded with LIV Golf, opening up opportunities, I think in the long run, it's very healthy and positive for the PGA Tour and golf. We're seeing these young stars up and coming have an opportunity. There's probably 10 or 15 more slots each week. I think it's healthy in the long run. Short term, guys like me that are older and you're used to seeing certain names, it's challenging at times to watch and not get excited, but really feel like, okay, you're rooting for that one or two individuals. I think long term it's healthy. I think short term, you're also seeing those. Some of these guys, I'd have to go back and look at it, but it'd be intriguing to look how many times did the top 10 or 20 really play. Because, again, they are gearing their schedule now toward these majors. They are rich, literally, right now, versus, look, 25 years ago, they had to play that West Coast. You had to get ahead in the money and the money game and be in the top 30 or 40 to make the Tour Championship and keep your card. And now there's so much more security through their sponsorships, their opportunities, and how much they're making that, frankly, there's just less pressure to have to play, 4 or 6 times beginning in January.
Yeah, I thought it was great last week. I can't remember his name. It escapes me, but the guy who finished in second place asked where the guy in third place was before he elected whether or not to to take a drop, instead of winning it, just being able to get that top money. Obviously, there's a noticeable difference between second on the PGA Tour and third on the PGA Tour. Talking golf with Rick Shoemaker, who joins Rick Ballou. All right, as we wrap it up, Tiger, the pressure on him to be here, I have to imagine, is immense. He tried to give it a go. We heard about back spasms, then a flu, but photos showed us that he was actually eating a sandwich after he apparently came out with a flu. He has so much success at Arnold's event next week at Bay Hill, but obviously with this being the Players' Championship in 2 weeks, can you imagine what that must be like right now for Tiger Woods?
Look, I think only he knows with his health and his situation as far as his recovery to walk and play. Originally I was thinking, you know what, he might need the confidence, he might need to go win. But then you go, look, the guy is the all-time champ. I don't know how much confidence he really needs. I think it's just testing his leg and getting tournament ready. I think Bay Hill does bring a lot of intangible confidence to the surface for him, in believing he can still shoot that 10 or 12 under and be in the final 2 or 3 groups. Other than that, he's Tiger, and it's not going to surprise me if he's suddenly, on the leaderboard in the final day at the Masters.
Yeah.
In the Players' Championship, I think in support of the PGA Tour and what it's done for him, it'd be fantastic if it's here. For his game itself and what he's trying to do at the end of his career, I'm not sure the Players fits that selfish goal, if that makes sense.
It does make sense, and I would love to see him get one more to get ahead of Sam Snead. Of course, both have 82 lifetime, and you look at the Arnold Palmer Invitational next week, Tiger's won there 8 times. It's that in Bridgestone where he's won it 8 times. So he's won here. He's won here as an amateur. He's won here as a professional. I'm aware of that. But I think, in order to, if he was to grab a win, I think most would say he'd have a better opportunity with that next week. Only time will tell. All right, give us the very latest out there, Rick, at Cimarron, right there on 210. That includes the Loyalty Club program.
No, absolutely. We are having fun, to say the least. Golf should always be fun. So we're having a fun time on the golf course nowadays. Greens are fantastic. Our programs are giving people the deals, the opportunity to come out and play, all-inclusive through the loyalty program. You get golf, lunch, and a beer when we do those specials. We have music tonight, loud, fantastic, rocking in here. I'm a live music guy, and we're excited about the Players Week when we start to have music every day of the players and just celebrating the game of golf and the fact that at the end of the day, no matter what you shoot, no matter where you hit it on number 18, there's still a bar at the end of the day and some good food. So golf is about having fun with your friends and just enjoying the weather. So that's what we're doing out here.
Yeah, and that Stone and Barrel Tap House restaurant is incredible, both indoors and outdoors. I'm a big fan. Hey, tell our listeners, those who have not been out there yet or know about the email process, the Loyalty Club program, how do they get a hold of you in that to be a part of this?
Very simple. When you pull up our website, one of those pop-up boxes shows up and says join the loyalty program. Click here, and you click, and you type in your email, and voila, you'll be in the system, somewhere up in the clouds, but you'll be in the system.
Rick, I'll see you real soon, man. Always a pleasure. Thank you.
No, thank you.
There he goes, Rick Shoemaker with Cimarron, and right there on 210. Man, they have put a lot of money into that golf course. And I understand that for a lot of you who have been here for many years, no, I'm telling you. And I checked the text line. I mean, no one's more interactive with our listeners on the text line than I am, okay? I get back to just about as – sometimes we get so many of them, and that really means a lot to me, honestly. Okay, I remember when we started off, we were going to have a text line. I was like, yeah, whatever. If people want to get a hold of me, they can get me on Twitter or, MySpace or whatever it may be. But the hotline on, our text line is amazing. And all the input I get, I have challenged the listener to go out to Cimarron and tell me what you think. I have not gotten one negative review. It is amazing. The greens, the fairways, the tee boxes, It's always been a great layout. All right, first 5 holes, you better not go right. You'll be wet. But they've done some nice work. And listen, I'm a fan of all golf courses. I'm not going to exclusively only talk about Cimarron. I told you I played earlier today out at TPC Valley. I play them all. I love them all. But you need to give Cimarron an opportunity. For those who went years ago and weren't a fan, they have done phenomenal work. I wouldn't say it if not. It's as simple as that. All right, 641-1010 on the text line if you'd like to join us. I do want to get back to, obviously, the NFL. I'm a little bit more concerned than Rick Shoemaker, about what is going on with the tour. Look at today's leaderboard. 7 under par, 64 is Chad Ramey and S.H. Kim. Okay? Ryan Moore, big fan, like the way he dresses, 6 under. Andrew Novak, 6 under. Austin Eckroat, 6 under. Cameron Young, who's a nice player, 6 under. Chasen Hadley, 6 under. Okay? Not bad. David Skins, 6 under. You know, Billy Horschel, former Gator, lives here in town. Good, 5 under. Bud Cauley, kid out of Alabama. Does Bud live here? I'll have to check on that. 5 under. Sam Ryder, 5 under. All right, not bad. Not bad. But I was with a foursome today, and, you know, all of a sudden you look up, and heck, I can't even this is exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, it's escaping me right now, for crying out loud. Brian Harmon has won a claret jug. And we're looking at, I'm like, is that Brian Harmon? I can't tell. Yeah, that's, all of a sudden you see the claret jug. Yeah, that's Brian Harmon. And this isn't a slap towards him, but these guys all seem to be alike, right? And Brian Harmon's a little bit shorter than the average player on the PGA Tour. I watched this happen to boxing when the stars left or the stars got old. And how healthy is boxing? How healthy is heavyweight boxing? I'm not talking about even the Ray Leonard, Thomas Hearns, and you know, just went at Roberto Duran and you know, years after Floyd Mayweather. You know, I remember I used to love the Winky Wrights. I had Roy Jones Jr., who played a basketball game here and fought in the same night. All right, sat in the studio with me. I used to really love boxing. Today's boxing to me is kind of like, what? I mean, who do you really? I remember one year, RJ, I was out. I think it was out in Seattle, or it might have been Phoenix for the Super Bowl. And you got Wilder, the heavyweight champion,
right?
And I interviewed him. There was like 1 or 2 people around Deontay Wilder, and about 200 people around Conor McGregor. Okay. It was like, listen, it's the cage. It's the new thing. Everyone wanted to be around McGregor. Anderson is a huge person. I'm like, I got an opportunity. And I'm trying to remember if Wilder at that point was the heavyweight champion or was on the cusp of becoming a heavyweight champion. And you got Fury and you got some of these other, Fury and some other guys. But, I mean, heavyweight boxing's gone. And that's what I wonder about the PGA Tour. When these big names are Sergio's not here anymore. Phil's not here anymore. Right? And then you lose younger guns like Rahm and DeChambeau and Koepka, and the list just goes on and on and on. Is it good enough for you if Eric Van Rooyen goes out and wins the Players' Championship? Right? That's my concern. I hope I'm wrong because I love the PGA Tour. Believe me, I want to be wrong here. I just think there's such an opportunity for stars right now on this tour. And that has got to be what Jay Monahan and others are wondering. You can't fake that. I don't know how you're going to do it. You know? How's that going to work? How do all of a sudden you put yourself in a position where thousands and thousands and thousands of fans are going to gravitate towards you? I asked this to the 3 friends that I played golf with today. I was like, all right, let me take away JT, and let me take away Rory, and if Tiger doesn't come. If you're going to go to this event, is there a pairing? Is there a grouping that you're going to say to your family, your friends, we got to head to this particular hole because this group is playing? I mean, just ask yourself that question. Now, I was there a couple years ago when Shane Lowry had that hole-in-one. And with all the wind, and I think, man, now there's a guy, Shane Lowry, he's a likable guy. He's Irish. He looks like he likes to have cold beer and a steak. I don't know. It's not the John Daly feel for Shane Lowry. And it's just my honesty on this. I hope I'm wrong, but I mean, you've got stars in baseball. You got stars in football. You got stars in hockey. You got stars in basketball. I think right now, the modern-day PGA Tour is starving for another star.
The home of the home team you grew up with.
Well, Fred Taylor is the whole package. Fred Taylor, every time he touches it, he's a candidate to go the distance.
Jaguars, pride forever. 1010XL.
Attention golf enthusiasts. Get ready to swing into action at the Rolling Red Pro Golf Tour at Deer Creek Country Club April 10th to the 12th. It's a charity pro-am event benefiting the Wounded Warrior Project. Rub shoulders with real touring pros, explore the outdoor expo, and indulge in a banquet meal. Want to play alongside a future PGA Tour player? Sign up now at rollingredgolftour.com. Spectators welcome and sponsor packages available. That's rollingredgolftour.com.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
This is Keith Catlin for Catlin Truck Accessories, and we are so blessed to be in business for over 100 years. Over 100 years of the best product and customer service means you can count on Catlin. From Roll-and Lock bed covers to Lear toppers, Cam Locker toolboxes. Catlin Truck Accessories has you covered when it comes to your truck or van. We do those too. Got a fleet of vehicles? We can outfit them all.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
One name, one location, 100 years. You can count on Catlin.
Certainly facing challenging economic times. I can't speak for all of us. But for me, comforting to know my money is in good hands with ITP Partners. Ticket here for ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. I'll admit it, I don't understand a ton about the economy. Higher interest rates, 401ks, but I do know as I move closer to retirement, I continue to watch my money grow. Thanks to Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, and Reed Wingate. Get in the game, guys. ITP Partners, always there to help. For more info, Chris at ITPPartners.com or call 904-312-9751.
Have you been dreaming of enhancing your living space with top-quality custom windows and doors? Now is the perfect time to make that dream a reality with Renewal by Anderson. Right now, buy 4 windows or patio doors and get the 5th free. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. This offer expires February 29th and restrictions apply. Renewal by Anderson, proud to be the official window and door replacement partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit rbafla.com.
License number CGC 1527613.
Sometimes the most important position in sports needs a translator.
I'm Denny Thompson, and they call me the quarterback whisperer.
He shares his insights Friday mornings on The Drill. Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security.
Register Sausage.
And George Moore Chevrolet.
Tacos and sports go hand in hand, literally. You can watch sports with a taco in each hand, or with a taco in one hand and a surfboard in the other. Don here from Taco Lou. I love sports, and since you're listening to this station, you love sports as well. If you love sports and tacos, then Taco Lou is calling your name. We always have the game on here, or you can call in a to-go order to watch at home, or let us cater your next watch party. Catering for the holidays? No problem. Taco Lou in Jacks Beach. Cheers to tacos, sports, holidays with the family, and tequila.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. I know Honda, they're so cool on the road and off the road, but guess what? Tell them about them being on the water.
There is an all-new Honda boat coming out. We went out and partnered with Scout, who's been making the finest holes in the business for years. They're fuel-efficient, dynamic, and class-leading.
So Honda is in the boat business, and you will see boats coming to Cycles of Jacksonville soon.
We will have them in the spring, ready to go.
CyclesofJacksonville.com. Keep track of all of it. Find them on Atlantic near Regency.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
This is Hayes Carline here to help you break free from the chains of pest infestation. The talk of this town is Kingfish Pest Control. By now, many of your neighbors have already joined the Kingfish Revolution, leaving their homes and lawns protected and pest-free. Now it's your turn. Call Kingfish Pest Control and say goodbye to termites, ants, mosquitoes, and other annoying pests. Trust me, you'll get exceptional service and understand why your neighbors and I use Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jaguars.
The First Coast Games is an annual corporate challenge to introduce fun activities into the workplace and focus on your employees' health and wellness goals, with some friendly competition, of course. Registration is now open through the First Coast YMCA for both recreational and challenge divisions, including pickleball, cornhole, volleyball, flag football, and other team sports. The games will begin in March. Register your company and teams at fcymca.org.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys Locksmith Service.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Look, I can see your face in the Parisian paintings. The Mona Lisa, I can hear your voice in the streets.
Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Tomorrow, Ballou and Saunders with you 3 to 6 on a Friday, a getaway Friday. That's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow, 3 until 6. Guests scheduled, including my buddy Niall Lawrence Stamp. I'm going to roll in here. Got a few others as well. Should be fun. Got a lot left to do right here, though, on this Thursday night. Thank you to Rick Shoemaker over at Cimarron. Really appreciate that. Rafael Esparza about 15 to 20 away from Vegas. This one comes from sportbetting.ag. Russell Wilson, even odds right now that he'll be the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers in Week 1. Wow. I mean, he's got better odds than Kenny Pickett. 3 to 1. Then it's Justin Fields, 4 to 1. Baker Mayfield, 7 to 1. Ryan Tannehill, 9 to 1. Kirk Cousins, 10 to 1. Kirk Cousins going to get paid. Mason Rudolph, 20 to 1. And then you got all these props, which going to ask him about. Fastest 40-yard dash, over under 4.27. You got to take the over, right? A 4.27. You can do individual ones. John Ross, who never did anything in the NFL, he's kind of like Ronaldo Nehemiah. 4.22. Will that be broken? Yes, plus 400. No, minus 700. You get away 700 to win $100 if you take no. Stephen Paye, I believe is how you pronounce his name. The bench press record, 49 reps. Wow, 225 pounds, 49 times. What's the most you've ever done 225 pounds?
Probably 3. It's a high school.
Yeah, I was saying if I attempted 225 pounds right now, I would no longer have any berries.
Oh, I thought you said your back would give out.
I'm not worried about the back. I'm worried about the berries. Chris Connolly and Donald Washington, 45-inch vertical. Boy, Chris Connolly sucked here. He had a 45-inch vertical. Will that be broken? So we'll get into this in a little bit with our buddy Rafael Esparza. 1898, Ballou. Do we slide Walker Little to the left tackle position? You need to focus on the scouting crew. Continues to look at soft, untalented players. I think they're talented. Soft, I would agree with. Ben Barch was soft. He looked soft. Luke Jokel is soft. That was the former regime. Luke Fortner is soft. Walker Little is I'm trying to figure this one out. I think soft is fair. You know, he was injured at Stanford. He missed a considerable amount of time at Stanford. He's a left tackle by trade who played there with the Cardinal. Tried to make him a right tackle. I mean, for what it's worth, Jacksonville, feel free to draft an offensive lineman at a position he's played. Well, they did that, Ballou, with Fortner. Okay, you got me. And they did it with Cam. But Harrison's a left tackle. They put him at the right side. That left tackle position, you talk about money, you can make a case for 3 guys right now. There's got to be someone in town that's holding book on that, right? Maybe I'll contact the brothers Rolandelli. But I don't know if it's off, out of Mayport or if it's over on the west side, maybe out at the Jug. It's certainly not on my nose of town, Bartram, because that bleeds into the 210 Mafia, and I'd be aware of that. But you could probably get decent odds right now on Cam, Walker Little, or Anton Harrison as your opening day left tackle. You can make a case for all 3 right now. For me, I'd cut Cam and go back with Walker Little. Walker Little was really good there the first 4 games of the year. He was their best offensive lineman. He got hurt when they moved him inside. I hope they don't go that way again. More on the offensive line here. Yes and that, this and that, this and that, this and that. 4704 Ballou has reported you get offended when you ask coaches and front office a question and they dance around it even though you know that's what they might do. Not at all. Not at all. It's, there's no law. There's no rule. I actually think that what you have right now is very transparent. I'll tell you the biggest tomfoolery I was ever a part of, that was with Hick, and this, for some reason, when they drafted Jalen, they did the interview with Jalen Ramsey and his family inside the Jaguars locker room, and I remember getting with Dave Caldwell after the interview, and Caldwell looked at myself and Dan Hicken and was like, when I asked about Miles Jack, and at that particular point, I was doing afternoons. I was on 3 to 7 with Frank and Jessica Blaylock. And I remember coming back on the show. There's no way the Jaguars are taking Miles Jack. I spoke with Dave Caldwell. It was an incredible. And you don't have to be truthful about this, right? I mean, you raise your sons, you raise your daughters. It's about telling the truth. There is professional embellishment here. You don't have to give everything out when you're talking about trying to put together your football team. It comes with design. But I do think that Trent Baalke and Doug Peterson are honestly pretty transparent, and I thought Doug Marrone was. It doesn't mean they're always, doesn't mean that there's always going to be something there. I think what's really made a lot of people nervous in town is the way that Baalke addressed the Cam Robinson situation, almost as if he is here. Why are you even asking me? And him going on talking about corners. Do we have Baalke on corners? Let's get to that, RJ, real quick. That's cut number 10, if you have that, from Trent Baalke going back to Tuesday's press conference. Again, I thought Baalke did a real nice job answering these questions. Here he is back on Tuesday.
It's a good question. Who's going to be the third? We've got to add to that group. I think Coach Nielsen spoke on it. Coach Peterson's probably spoke on it. Now I'm speaking on it. It's a group that we need to address. We feel good about the group we have. We feel like we got some good young guys to work with. We got some veterans in there, but we're definitely going to look to add to that group.
And it's all over the place right now with mock drafts, including Quinion Mitchell, 6 foot, 196 out of Toledo, going 17th to the Jaguars, a corner. I hate it. I do, for the reasons that I've outlined, not only tonight, but I do it whenever given the opportunity. I'm not going there. If you want to do it in the second or third round, okay. Can you still find corners? Is there depth later in the draft? Apparently this is a very strong defensive back class, but Trey Herndon's free agent. You're going to bring back Trey Herndon. Darius Williams could be a cap casualty. I'd keep him unless Ryan Nielsen believes he's not going to be a solid man cover defensive back. They've been playing in the zone. Final year for Tyson Campbell, final year for Darius Williams. You have to draft a corner at some point. The only guys you have on a contract next year are Buster Brown and Christian Braswell. I guess Eric Hallett. And add him to the list, right? Braswell selected in the 6th round. Hallett selected in the 6th round. You have any trust in those two? Antonio Johnson, more of a I wouldn't be surprised if he's the starting safety next to Cisco if they say goodbye to Rayshon Jenkins. Really high in Antonio Johnson. I think he's got an opportunity. I do. He's just got to stay healthy, man. You can't have those soft tissue injuries in August. That just sets you back. It set back Devin Lloyd 2 years ago. It set back Antonio Johnson this past year. And I think they feel that Johnson in a pinch could be a nickel. I don't. I think he's better suited as a safety and almost in the box safety. He's very physical. I want to see him. Out of all the second-year guys, all the attention's going to be obviously on Brenton Strange and Tank Bigsby, who both disappointed as rookies. And everything that I say is offense, 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 offense. I'm very happy with Anton Harrison for what it's worth. But I'm more interested with this class in year 2 with key defensive guys, okay? You need to get production out of these 6 players. Can you get anything out of, let's say, 2+? 2 that absolutely will be a big part of it, and the plus is a guy who gives you something in pinch, maybe a dime cover, or, a guy that could be a 3rd or 4th linebacker. What I'm talking about is Ventrell Miller, who basically redshirted. I loved him at Florida. The guy was all over the place at Florida. And you could tell me he's undersized. You could tell me he doesn't have the perfect east to west speed. I think he makes plays. That's the way I'm looking at Braden Fisk. Okay? Braden Fisk made plays. I'm not a scout. I don't pretend to be a scout. I get warped when I hear 40-yard dashes for defensive and offensive linemen. Who cares about a 40-yard dash? Those guys got to go 10 yards, right? That's it. Not 40 yards. But I think Ventrell Miller, where's your faith there? Tyler Lacey, 4th-round pick. That is a massive need. I think they're saying goodbye to Big Foley. I think they're really cautious about Devon Hamilton. Roy Robertson Harris, I don't know what they're going to do there. Tyler Lacey was a 4th-round pick. Yasir Abdullah, that looks terrible. Undersized, one-trick pony. Okay, and he can't get to the quarterback. That looks like a bad pick, 5th-round pick. Just told you about Antonio Johnson, who I'm very high on, and then you're going to look at these 2 corners, Christian Braswell and Eric Hallett. Can you get anything out of either one of those 2? A dime cover guy? I don't know. And then I guess you can go back to offense. I mean, I know a lot of you listeners out there, including John Osher, who I spoke to last night, think that Cooper Hodges could be an insert and play guy at right guard. I'd love that. Who wouldn't? A 7th-round pick, insert him at the right guard position? A local kid? Be phenomenal. But we don't know. We don't know the answer to that question. All right. I mean, it's great, though. It is. I mean, this is so much better than talking about a team with the top pick that just won a game or won 3 or 4 games. I mean, you're relevant, people. You're 9-8. You've got a coach. You got a quarterback. You got to build that offensive line. You got money. All right? You're going to create even more money when you restructure some of these deals, when you restructure Aloakam, when you restructure Kirk. And you're going to have even more money when you cut some of these players. So you can afford to go out and do some things. It's a much better overall scenario here in town than it was a couple of years ago. And I think every day that goes by, every week that goes by, all this doom and gloom will disappear a little bit. And by the time we get to August, you'll be just pounding the pavement, getting ready to go. That's the way I see it, even here on the final day of February.
It's Jacksonville's version of March Madness.
The Players Championship.
Catch live Southeast Orthopedic Specialist leaderboard updates from the Players. Brought to you by
Duck Duck Rooter, Plumbing, Septic Service, and Air Conditioning. And Roundtree Sod.
on 1010XL.
Hey everybody, Jennifer Marion with Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville, here to say hello, and we'd sure like to have your business.
You know what? They're gonna love the king of price.
My dad believes in making great deals and having a great selection in stock.
Cadillac XT4s, XT5s, and XT6s, and Escalades.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
CT4s and CT5s.
Cadillac luxury and selection is just waiting for you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Ballou for Shinatri Chiropractic. They've helped me get rid of my headaches and pain in my neck and back. Are you suffering from an auto accident? What about TMJ pain? Headaches associated with jaw clenching, grinding of the teeth, or stress-related disorders? Shinatri Chiropractic has a physical therapist on staff for rehabilitation, quality chiropractic care, dry needling, massage, and acupuncture. Call 743-6700 or go to ShinatriDC.com.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Get ready for the Players Championship, March 12th through 17th at TPC Sawgrass. Don't miss your chance to watch the PGA Tour's best compete to etch their name in history while enjoying a vibrant social scene. From local bites to the latest merchandise available in the PGA Tour fan shop, the Players offers the ultimate experience for everyone to enjoy. Secure your spot today. Tickets are on sale now at theplayers.com.
Life has its share of challenges, and when it puts you to the test, make sure you reach out to Rebound Rehabilitation to give you the quickest path back to full health and confidence. Rebound Rehab, specializing in helping patients overcome back pain and sciatica, arthritis, and fibromyalgia, just to name a few. Rebound Rehab, locations covering the entire First Coast, getting you back in control with a pain-free life. Sports injury, workplace injury, whatever it might be, you can rebound. Log on to reboundrehab.com for more info.
Has your sewer line been hydrojetted? Heavy buildup clogged sewer lines, causing drains at your home or business to back up or become slow moving. Call Duck Duck Rooter for hydrojetting of your main sewer line. Duck Duck Rooter's special hydrojetting machine uses a blast of water at very high pressure to remove hard, stubborn blockages. Call now to book 904-862-6769. Serving commercial and residential, your fully insured and certified plumber. DuckDuckRooter.com.
Sometimes the most important position in sports needs a translator.
I'm Denny Thompson, and they call me the quarterback whisperer.
He shares his insights Friday mornings on The Drill. Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security.
Register Sausage.
And George Moore Chevrolet.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it worse. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
Rock and Roll Hall of Famers, the Doobie Brothers. Tom Johnston, Michael McDonald, Pat Simmons, and John McPhee. The 2024 Tour. With special guest, the Robert Cray Band, live in Jacksonville. Performing at Daly's Place July 8th. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. For more, visit theDoobieBrothers.com.
New and pre-owned firearms are always in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimbar, Smith & Wesson, Sig Sauer, and Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach.
Dave Binion here with my son Ammon, who is the air duct cleaning manager at Zero Res. So Ammon, you may notice a little rattle in my voice and some puffiness in my eyes. That's because allergy season is coming on. Can Zero Res help?
Yes, your health has a lot to do with the air you breathe. A clean and healthy home begins with clean air. At Zero Res, we can help clean the air in your home by cleaning your air ducts, cleaning the coils in your HVAC units, and fogging the system with a powerful antimicrobial that helps kill and control the growth of microorganisms in your air. We also have options for maintaining your clean air with our excellent inline air purifier and UV lights that will help keep your system clean and healthy. At Zero Res, we are more than just air duct cleaners. We're a clean air specialist.
So, what deals do you have this month?
Right now, get $100 off your air duct cleaning, and while we're at it, we'll give you $50 off your dryer vent cleaning.
Zero Res.
Spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
CEROREC. Zero Res.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
He is a star in Las Vegas because I was just there, and sadly I missed him. He is Rafael Esparza, mybookie.org. Although, Rafael, I will say, I read about you in the restroom, including on Saturday night when I stumbled into the ladies' room.
It wouldn't shock me. I have some my younger days in Vegas when I first moved there, specifically when I worked at Caesar's Palace in the late 90s. I was a closing supervisor in a race and sportsbook at Caesar. So things happen late at night. That wouldn't shock me.
Yep. Went to the U2 show at the Spear. Outstanding. Visited the Mob Museum and sit at is it the Aria or Aria?
Aria, that sports book at Aria I designed that. I opened up the Aria.
Did you really?
Yes, I did. I was the first sports book director. Did all the design and everything.
Outstanding. Always a lot of fun. All right, Rafael, we're tight here on time, so let's get straight to the combine. I know you sent a lot of stuff out. Boy, who would have thought that you can actually bet on this? What is the highest bet? Is it the 40?
Between the 40 and bench press, I think those are probably the two most popular ones for combine betting. But yeah, it's between those. I mean, let's face it, people love to see other guys bench press. I have no idea why, but that's probably one of the highest ones.
Yeah. Now, is this big money or is this like Super Bowl prop stuff?
Super Bowl prop stuff. We're not taking big money. This is just because the NFL pays us odds makers to keep that word NFL in the limelight 365 days a year. So we have to put this stuff up or the NFL finds us.
I saw that wide receivers, as far as the 40, really heavily favored over both defensive backs and running backs. I wasn't aware of that. I mean, if you track history, I know Ross ran the 4.22, and I remember the year that Dion ran a 4.2 whatever as a DB. But is that really been the movement? Wide receivers that much faster than anyone else?
This crop, no. I'm hearing it's much slower. Probably this wide receivers better route runners and taller. So I think that's why the wide receivers are so deep in this draft. They don't have lightning speed, but great route runners, and they have length and size. So I think that's why I like the under at the 40-yard dash, slower than 4.27 seconds.
We'll spend more time on this next week, but with the 12-team college football playoff ahead of us, I know the early lines are out to be one of those 12 teams. How much activity on that so far?
Bumped up the last couple of days because of the news of maybe a 14 and stuff like that, how the rules, SEC only gets 2 teams, Big 12 only gets 2. I mean, stuff like that was very interesting. So I think the activity in the next couple of weeks are probably going to bump up. Maybe when March Madness comes in town, when not that much college football action be taken in. But right now, yes, money coming in on college football futures.
All right, Rafael Esparza, tell us about MyBookie and mybookie.org.
Yeah, I mean, tomorrow we flip the calendar. It's March 1st. I mean, it's March Madness, so don't forget conference tournaments start pretty soon. So jump over there. Have a full slate of college basketball on Saturday. MLS soccer started already. We're in week 2. They get back into action on Saturday. Then don't forget NBA, NHL playoffs around the corner, and spring training baseball is already a big hit.
Yeah, all the money coming in on the Dodgers?
Yes, the Dodgers will be one of the first teams to probably have run lines -2.5 in back-to-back days. Would not shock me if you see that.
Man, that is incredible. Hey, Rafael, appreciate it. Always a lot of fun talking to you next Thursday.
Take it easy. Have a great weekend.
There he goes, Rafael Esparza. And he's with MyBookie. at mybookie.org. All right, I'm looking at the text line here, 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime of Coaches. Just got so many in tonight. And if I didn't get an opportunity to get to you, I just apologize. But I love it when we're really busy here. You know, I mentioned the jug, right? I was at cutting the rug at a place called The Jug with a girl named Linda Lou. Is it Linda Lou or Linda Sue? I think it's Linda Lou. I've never been to The Jug. I'm telling you. You know what my dream is, RJ? And I want you to be a part of this. I want to do a crawl all throughout Jacksonville. I want to hit nothing but dive bars. Okay?
Let's do it.
If your feet don't stick to the floor, I'm not interested. But I actually drove out post-COVID a couple of times to The Jug, and it was closed. I was told that it was open, but now I get one here from the 1352 that said there's a report on a victim says a man charged with arson at the bar. He mentions his name, which I won't. Apparently, it happened with gasoline, and he was tackled. It was the top story. It is the top story right now on Jacksonville news apps. I was not aware. Why would someone try to burn down something like that? Disappointed to hear it, but yes, I got to make my way to the Jug Saloon.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Tire Outlet. Tire Outlet is now hiring. Visit TireOutlet.com/careers. Equal opportunity employer.
What did you used to drink again when we go out?
Oh, man, Jacksonville Beach. Where didn't I drink when I was in college?
What was your shot? Goldschlager. That was it.
That and Jaeger bombs.
Oh, my God,
And you know what's funny about that? I guess everybody can relate to this. The smell of Jägermeister now that I'm an old man at 40 years old, I can't even smell it. I can't even be around it. I lived off of those things in college. You get anything within 5 feet of me right now, it's just awful.
Yeah, that's bad. That's a college drink.
Oh, gosh.
So what do you prefer, bourbon or scotch?
At this stage in life, I'm a bourbon guy.
Yeah.
Bourbon and a cigar. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. See, I go Irish whiskey over them both.
Okay. Well, no, I like Irish whiskey as well. That's a great point.
But you're a guy that would drink 12 shots of Goldschlager, 9 of Jägermeister, and then tell me the next day that you were hungover because of a cigar that you smoked.
Yeah. I lived through my 20s, so I can tell some of those stories, and I live a lot less active lifestyle now, I'll just say that.
Those were fun times. If I remember correctly, I think I was going through a divorce. I think once you came to pick me up with some buddies, and I had the windows open on the big screen, had something playing for you guys.
Yeah, you and I had some time.
I was crazy back then. I'm so mellow now. I mean, life is just so mellow for me now. But back then, it used to be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
all right, what's coming up?
Yeah, obviously, we're going to do a lot on the Combine. We're going to have Frank Frangie on up in Indianapolis to look at the festivities going on up there. Little NBA talk tonight, too. We got about 20 games left in the regular season. The Orlando Magic going to make the playoffs. The Boston Celtics. Will the Eastern Conference playoffs be the Celtics Invitational? It sure looks like it. We'll have Keith Smith on of Spot Track and the Front Office Show. So a lot of NFL mixed in with a little NBA tonight.
Keep South Florida out of the mix. They did it to my Celtics and definitely to my Boston Bruins a year ago. Miami just crushed them both.
If the Celtics don't win the title this year, or at least get to the finals, it's a failure, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they are head and shoulders better than everybody in the East right now.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Have a lot of fun.
Thanks, Rick.
All right, changes tomorrow. If you have not heard, we'll be with you 3 to 6. That's Ballou and RJ Saunders. So, typically with you 6 to 8. That'll be the case all in next week, including next Friday. But tomorrow, 3 until 6. So on a little bit earlier. And already do look forward to that. Again, I don't check the text line now that the show is over. But if you do want to get a hold of me, you always can on Twitter and or X. That is Ballou1010XL. Thank you to Rafael Esparza. Thank you to Rick Shoemaker of Cimarron Golf Course. Go check it out right there on 210. Plenty of money has been poured into the course, and it is much better than it used to be. I'm telling you. Check it out, and let me know how you feel. RJ Saunders, thank you. My name is Rick Ballou. We will talk tomorrow, 3 o'clock. That is right, 3 o'clock on a Friday. We'll do it then.